So team, I'm from North Carolina. Pork's kind of a big deal, right? I want to talk to you today about one of my favorite cuts off the hog, and that is the pork collar, or CT butt from Cheshire pork. You know, there's the money muscle in there, also known as the tiger or zebra muscle. You can see all those striations. This is what pit masters make the money on, okay? So money muscle, this is what brings home the championship. This is the most prized piece of the pork butt. And if you're from the South like I am, a good way to remember where this comes anatomically, pork butt is the front shoulder, butt being the old English word for wide end. They're wider in the front than they are in the rear. The Boston butt is up top or north, and the picnic ham, you need your legs to walk to a picnic, is down low. So Boston butt up here, picnic down here, butt being in the front. So this is the top front shoulder piece with the money muscle exposed. I want to show you a neat trick. I know I'm talking way too much. We just need to get into it, but I don't want to shred this. I want to cook this roast. It is so good. The marbling is so wonderful. It's spread out, not big and globular. I want to show you how to cook this to 185 and slice it and have the most incredible sliced pork roast ever. Or you can take it to 205 and shred it, but try this 185 trick. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be using the Kettle Joe. I'm enjoying using this thing. We just cooked a brisket on it yesterday, did a fantastic job. Today we're doing the CT or pork collar. We need to get this baby started first. We're gunning for a temperature, an indirect temperature of, let's call it 325 today. Let's get into it. We're cruisy, all right? Our charcoal is engaged. We're ready to put the wood chunks in. Let's take just a second to talk about this. Dry wood chunks, not soaked wood chips. Remember, we want combustion, we want clean smoke. If you soak your wood chunks or wood chips, you're postponing the amount of time that it takes to get to combustion. You're seeing a lot of billowy smoke, you're seeing a lot of evaporation. By the time it's dried out and ready to go, you don't have much more smoke left, okay? So let's go ahead and sneak these in the hottest portion of our fire, and we're gonna see these combust. Again, once it combusts, we're gonna put our slow roller insert on top and then start to damper down the draft door and the control tower on top, stifling the airflow, keeping good smoke, but keeping our temperature at that 325, 350 we're looking for. Let's fabricate. I'm using a really nice sharp knife to cut through some of this pork fat. Today we're gonna be using a Shun Premier boning knife. Love this thing. I just want to trim a little bit of that down. Smoke's not going to penetrate it for this short amount of cook. It's not going to break down. Seasoning's not going to get through there. We could cross hatch it if we wanted to give access, but for this quick cook to 185, I want to trim some of that off so that it's got better mouthfeel and just nicer all around. So let's give it a little trim. All right, next seasoning. And remember, I'm going to save all that. That's gorgeous. I'm using a 2 seasoning method today. We're gonna start with Lane's Bbq Cubano. I like the oregano, I like the salt content. Really nice, got garlic, lime in it, a little bit of sweet orange peel zest. So a lot of floral notes, a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and get a good dousing on all sides. Let that sit for just a couple seconds. Let the salt begin to interact, wick out. Everything's gonna tack up, then we'll go on with our second seasoning. For our second seasoning, I've chosen Sweet Heat, one of my favorites for pork. It's got molasses in it, dehydrated sriracha, paprika, brown sugar, and that sweetness is gonna help build a bark on here. So the 2 seasoning method, really a great way to make more complex flavors and better textures. We're sitting at that pretty 325 to 350. This thing is tacked up beautifully. Notice there's a little bit more fat here where we trimmed. There's still a nice little fat cap there. That's where I'm gonna start down on the grill grate. Indirect, nice smoke rolling. And just a slight hiss. Now we'll let that roast for a little bit, get that nice golden amber look from the smoke, and we'll rotate a little bit so it's got even caramelization. But like I said, this is about a 3-hour cook. We're not taking it to that 205, 206 barbecue, pulled pork kind of feel. We're taking it to 185, which is gonna be this magical sliced roast pork, nice smoke ring, and we'll put a little sauce together real quick. Easy peasy. You know, I don't like to make these complex sauces. As a chef in restaurants, I used to throw 40 ingredients at a sauce. Simple things done perfectly win every time. All right, honey. Now we're talking. That's good. It's just one little pork collar. And I want to add some of the seasoning that we already used on the outside of the roast. So we're going to use the sweet heat. So we're calling it a, what are we calling it? A sweet heat honey money sauce? A sweet heat honey money sauce?
Boom.
Just rolls off the tongue, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. Not a lot of moving parts here, team, but we're winning. All right, let's take a look at this pork collar. So starting to get some nice caramelization there. We rolled around, get a little more color there. And let's give it about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We got to keep checking that internal temperature. Yeah, I like messing around with it. We'll check back in a little bit. Now look at the bubbles going on right here. All that fat just exuding. It's so excited. It's dancing and sizzling at the top. So we're going to transfer this onto our cutting board. And of course, you know we've got to let it rest. And we'll take an internal temperature too. But just look at all the colors and textures. The smokes hit that. You know, I'm not a thermometer guy, but we need to make sure that we're not doing pulled pork here. What'd I say? We want 185. We're at 183. But you got to take into consideration there's going to be carryover cooking that occurs, right? So just because we've taken it off doesn't mean it's stopped cooking. That fat is still rendering out. It's going to carry over to probably 187, under 190 though. All right, we're going to let this rest for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to slice it right down the line and put our sauce on it. I want to reiterate, this is a piece of the pork butt that we've cooked to 185, and now we're going to slice it and enjoy it as is. So pork butt, not just for pulled pork barbecue anymore. Take a look. We've let it rest. And those end pieces are great, right? Because they have so much more caramelization than the rest of the slices. But nice smoke ring there, good bark on the top and bottom. I think we've got ourselves a winner. You don't want to slice these too thin. We're gonna go maybe a little over 1/4 of an inch thick. Almost think pork chop, you know? And look at that. That is just a stunning little presentation. And on the cutting board, right? Very approachable, very rustic, not a lot of moving parts. We say it time and time again. Simple things done perfectly win every time. We got that super simple sauce that we made together. Let's go ahead and pop that on and drizzle it right over the top. Oh yeah. I want that one. I want every bit of that little bite right there. Notice it's not pulling, it's not shredding, it's still sliceable pork. That's a bite for the ages. That's outstanding. Succulent. Just scrumptious, you might even say. You know, this is a lot of fun and completely different than pulled pork, right? But from the same cut. So quality techniques, quality products will get you there every time. Simple things done perfectly win every time. This is it, folks. This is it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, all that stuff, and do leave us a comment because I love reading them and responding back. From our backyard to yours, cheers and happy grilling.